This is a presentation of how the temperate deciduous woodland of Sherwood Forest reached a serial climax through the process of succession by Connor and Sphere. Temperate deciduous forests are found between 40 degrees and 60 degrees north and south of the equator in areas such as Eastern America, Northeast Asia, in parts of China and Japan, and throughout the whole of Europe. Specifically, however, Sherwood Forest is located in the northwest of England in Nottinghamshire and is in Region 7 on the map. The climate of Sherwood Forest, as shown by the graph, isn't one that fluctuates drastically, with summer temperatures reaching a height of 20 degrees Celsius and winter temperatures rarely dropping below zero. The cooler winter temperatures cause trees to shed their leaves in the autumn, allowing them to reduce transpiration when less precipitation or moisture is available. On the whole, however, rainfall and precipitation, similarly to the temperature, remains moderate throughout the year, ranging between 1,000 and 1,500 millimetres. This contributes to the fact that Sherwood Forest remains a highly productive and efficient ecosystem.
Ecological succession is the observed process of change in the species structure.
Just to reiterate what succession is, it's the gradual and orderly process of change in the ecosystem brought about the progressive replacement of one community by another until a stable climatic climax is established. Climatic climax is the final stage of natural vegetation succession, where all the plants are in equilibrium with the climatic and environmental conditions of the area. This plant community will remain so long as its habitat does not change. All vegetation successions pass through a sequence of stages known as spheres, starting with the pioneer community. This is a ground layer of colonizing species such as lichens and mosses that can grow without soil. As weathering breaks down the rock and dead plant remains are decomposed into humus by bacteria, a field layer of herbs and grasses begin to grow in the immature soil. These are taller than the ground layer, so become dominant. Taller plants will always be dominant over smaller ones, as they are able to easily capture light for photosynthesis. However, these taller plants provide shelter to the other plants, therefore creating an established community of vegetation. As more and more plants colonize, the land's minerals and water retention, which is the ability for soil to hold water, will increase, thus allowing larger species such as rowan trees and eventually birch and oak trees to grow and thrive. More specifically, however, Sherwood Forest is a lithosphere, which only occurs when bare rock is progressively colonized by plants as soils develop. Lichens, liverworts and mosses from a ground layer pioneer community encouraging soil formation. The field layer of herbs and grasses follow to be shaded out by shrub layers of ferns, bracken and brambles as the soils mature. Small but fast-growing trees such as rowan can then establish to be followed by taller birch and pine trees. Finally, slower-growing oak and ash trees emerge as the dominant layer species of the climatic climax vegetation. Trophic levels within a temperate deciduous forest and the energy flows. Okay, the first trophic level. Producers in a deciduous forest food pyramid are the deciduous trees, grasses and shrubs, and form the first trophic level. They constitute the producers because they are autotrophs and are able to produce food by photosynthesis by using solar energy and ignorant materials like water and carbon dioxide. The trees in the deciduous food pyramid shed their leaves during the winter months. However, they grow new leaves every spring. The shrubs growing in this biome are seen to produce fruits like blackberries, huckleberries and thimbleberries. The second trophic level. Primary consumers of the deciduous forest food pyramid consist of herbivores like the rodents, squirrels, insects, birds and deer. These herbivores feed on the leaves and fruits found in the forest. The primary consumers form the second trophic level of the deciduous forest food pyramid. It is seen that the animals of this trophic level use around 6,000 calories per square kilometre of energy per year produced by the plants. Only 1/10 of the energy is stored in the body because the remaining 90% is used for cellular processes. The third trophic level. Secondary consumers of the deciduous food pyramid consist of small predators like birds, raccoons, snakes and foxes. These small carnivores form the third trophic level of the deciduous forest food pyramid. This set of carnivores will be able to utilize 600 kilocalories per square kilometre per year to eat. However, they are able to store only 1/10 of the energy because the remaining 90% is used for the cellular activities. Hence, the body of the secondary consumer is left with only 60 kilocalories per square metre per year. And finally, the fourth trophic level. Tertiary consumers of the deciduous forest food pyramid consist of omnivores, large predators like bears and carnivores like cougars. They form the fourth trophic level of the deciduous forest food pyramid. They ultimately get only 60 kilocalories per square metre, so they need to cover a lot of ground to be able to find enough food so as to stay alive.
Here's the food web for the temperate deciduous forest. As shown in the bottom, the autotrophs are the primary producers such as plants, flowers, nuts, seed, fruit and insects. These are also the decomposers. As we will see later in the nutrient cycle, biomass is decomposed. This then becomes litter, and this litter can then form the soil. Primary consumers can then feed off the nutrients that the producers and decomposers produce. Heat and respiration can often reduce the energy that these consumers have, and this is reduced as we move through the food web. As we see at the top of the food web, the tertiary consumers in temperate deciduous forests can include coyotes, mountain lions and bobcats. Although extinct now in Sherwood Forest, these animals would have inhabited many years ago, but due to human interference, they are now extinct. The secondary consumers, as shown in the middle of the page, include the raven, the black-tipped jackrabbit and the pine marten. These feed off the primary consumers. Gershmel's nutrient cycle was first developed in 1976 by P.F. Gershmel, who attempted to show the differences between the ecosystem regarding nutrients transferred and stored between three areas. Plants take in these nutrients where they are built into new organic matter. Nutrients are taken up when animals eat plants and then return to the soil when animals die and the body is broken down by decomposers. In all nutrient cycles, there are interactions between the atmosphere and soil, and many food chains are involved. Nutrient cycles vary greatly between ecosystems, as the rate of nutrient transfer is dependent on the amount of moisture, heat, vegetation, and the length of the growing season. As shown in the diagram, the litter is the surface of the vegetation which over time breaks down to become humus. The biomass is the total mass of living organisms per unit area. As tissues die, they form litter. As the litter decomposes, it becomes the soil. Some of the soil is lost by leaching, but also soil is created when rock is weathered. Biomass can then grow in the soil, thus leading to a complete cyclical chain. Some of the species in temperate woodlands as shown. The most common primary consumers include small rodents such as shrews, mice and voles, as well as larger animals such as the black-tailed deer. Others include squirrels, chipmunks and seed-eating birds. The most common secondary consumers include frogs, weasels, badgers, coyotes, raccoons, owls, foxes and sometimes beavers. The tertiary consumers include bears, wolves, lynxes and cougars. However, these have been made extinct in Britain as a result of hunting. Thank you for listening to our presentation.